Hey, first off, I'd like to congratulate Vanderbilt. Lost a tough game to us a couple of days ago and came right back and caught fire yesterday with 18 or 19 hits. We had hoped that they'd used all those up, and they certainly didn't. They played much better than we did today and deserve all the credit, and wish them nothing but the best tomorrow and on into the postseason. But, wish we had played a little bit better. You give a team that's hot offensively, 10 free base runners via Walker hit by a pitch, and 3 mistakes defensively. That's usually a recipe for disaster, and it certainly was today for us. So, again, congratulations to Vanderbilt, and best of luck to them the rest of the way.
Questions for Texas A&M? We'll start here on the front row on the end.
Coach, was not only the errors and the walks, but it was kind of like some of the plays that you made the last 2 games, the catches in center field that you just missed this time, and the play at home, where they got the run in, where Logan the time before had gotten them out. Those kind of things.
We didn't catch a whole lot of breaks today, and certainly we created a lot of those mistakes, and those opportunities for ourselves. I mean, we make a mistake defensively at third base early in the game. They follow that up with a 2-run homer rather than a solo home run, and kind of there in the third, fourth, they scored 5 runs via a mistake defensively, another mistake defensively, and an 0-2 hit, and we come right back with a leadoff double. We're not able to cash it in, and in that same inning, Chorby makes a great diving play and wasn't able to come up with it and ends up scoring those 2, and that's the big inning. And Vandy continued to tack on the rest of the way out. We really couldn't get a stop on the mound and slow them down. And we did a couple of holes, but we couldn't leave one guy out there and get 5 or 6, 7, 8 outs. Once they went to Kilchowski, he did a fantastic job and managed the rest of the game for them in a great way, and gave Vandy an opportunity tomorrow, at least on the mound, to give themselves a chance.
Second row.
Coach, there's a lot of good shortstops in this league. You've got one yourself. Can you kind of give me your impressions of what kind of extra that Dansby Swanson has?
I think he's a superstar of a human being, first and foremost. Take all the baseball talent away from it, just getting a chance to be around him all summer. He's a winner as a person, and you can tell that he led this summer. He's leading Vandy's team in a lot of different ways, and he's going to play for a long, long time, and not just because of his great talent, but because of his great character.
Front row here on the end, and then we'll come to the middle. Give us just a second. Go ahead.
Tyler, can you talk about just getting out there? I mean, I know you probably wish you could pitch a little bit better, but just being able to get out there and throw in what's a key game?
Yeah, it's just a good feeling getting back out there, but didn't do what I wanted to do. It was a good feeling.
Front row in the middle.
Tyler, just what's your take on that Vanderbilt lineup and their offense and what they can do at the plate?
They're all good hitters, they're on swing, and I just didn't really locate today, and just left the ball up a little bit, and they hit it.
Other questions for Texas A&M? Nick and Tyler, could you guys pull up just a little closer to your mics for me? Thank you. Other questions? Kendall.
Tyler, we got Coach's take on Dansby Swanson, but from a pitcher's perspective, when you watch him hit, what do you see from him in terms of his approach, and how does a pitcher pitch a guy like that?
I mean, you just pitch to where Coach tells you to pitch to him, and if you have your stuff, you'll have your stuff, and if not, he'll put it in play. He's just a good hitter.
Front row in the end.
Coach, can you talk about, brought in a lot of pitchers. Was this almost like an audition a little bit for the regional? Or
Not really. I was doing everything I could to win the game. And, we weren't certainly auditioning. We needed to try to get a stop along the way, and, felt like Tyler was the right move and had hoped he would give us 2, possibly 3 innings. And, the leadoff single, and then they're trying to give us an out on that bunt, and I wished our catcher had come and made that play. It was kind of a tweener play, and just the way they went.
Other questions for A&M? Front row. Go ahead, Kendall. Then we'll come next.
Rob, I know you probably don't have this answer yet, but how do you kind of feel about this rotation kind of going in a regional, and how do you kind of put all of those pieces together, 1, 2, 3, as you get ready for next week now?
Well, obviously felt good about our 1-2, and I still feel like putting Vincent in the rotation was the right thing to do. And, we didn't help him a lot early in the game and decided to go to Stubby. Thought we could get through 5 with those 2 guys and then match up from that point on. But Andrew's extremely competitive. He's a game manager, just like Matt Kinn and Grayson Long are, and he's a great defender himself, you know, coming in as a two-way guy. So if I had to do over again, and I would start Vinny again today if we hit the restart button, you know.
Front row in the end.
Coach, speaking of Andrew, was that one of those things where you want your best pitchers to pitch as many innings as you can? That's why you started Andrew?
Well, no, not necessarily. I, you know, kind of gave the answer to Kendall there as far as making that decision to start him. It's not something that just came to me this week. It's something that's been on my mind for a couple of weeks, and you know, just having the guys that can get us off to the best start and manage the game, and he's done a marvelous job for us all year long in the bullpen, and you know, he's been in every situation you could possibly ask for, and certainly hadn't been in the starting position, but you know, he's a competitive kid, and you know, that's the guy that I wanted on the mound, and I would bet if you polled all 26 guys in the dugout, they would have said the same thing.
Front row in the middle.
Yeah, Rob, the SEC has 4 really good teams this year. I'd like to get your impressions of those and maybe how you feel your team stacks up against them.
Well, I mean, the top 4 teams are left playing today, and I think the thing that maybe separates them from all the others is the offense and the experience that they have positionally and the at-bats that they have under their belt throughout the SEC. I bet if you went and did every team's lineup, those are the top 4 teams. And the 5 seed, Arkansas would stack up with that group of 4, and because of how many Southeast Conference at-bats they have under their belt. And, you know, there's you can't trade anything, but, you know, experience is everything in this league. And if you don't have it, you're going to struggle. Even if you're really good on the mound and really good defensively, you have to have experience from an offensive standpoint. It's such an unforgiving league, and you've got to have a lot of SEC at-bats to be able to be competitive week in, week out.
Any final questions for Texas A&M? Front row.
Nick, can you talk about their approach towards you guys this game over last game?
I mean, they hit pitches that they needed to hit. They got big hits early. They were laying off stuff down. Kent did a really good job of working down, and we left balls over the plate, and they took advantage of it.
But they're pitching towards you.
Oh,
Let's get-
They're pitching towards you as well.
okay. I mean, yeah, they just controlled the strike zone with all 3 pitches. Bueller struggled a little bit early, but started to come around, and then the lefty that came in really threw all 3 pitches for a strike and located well.